Wits University students, meanwhile, are planning to march to Kasatu House in Braamfontein this afternoon. This to voice their anger and disappointment at Minister Nzimande's announcement regarding tertiary fees for next year. This week saw police, private security and students engaged in running battles, resulting in police and students being injured and some students being arrested. Students say they want the minister to address their demands. They believe his office is in Kasatu House. All right, well, for more on the situation at Wits, let's cross now to our reporter, Griselda Lewis, who's at Wits University. Griselda, good afternoon to you. Before we get to the march at Kasatu, just tell us, we understand that students were supposed to have held a study time this morning, but most didn't arrive, and it's been quiet on campus today.
Well, that's right, Natasha. What we saw this morning was a statement that was released by the student leadership indicating that some time has been set aside for these students to study. You must recall that we're not too far away from seeing these students writing exams. We understand that lectures are about to come to an end, so the exams at this point are equally crucial to the cause that these students are fighting. They're saying while they go to the streets and demand free education now, what they don't want to forget is the fact that they need to write exams, and those exams are coming up quite soon, so they felt it important to ensure that students do have some time set aside to hit the books, even though they continue on this protest action. We're seeing it intensifying now, Natasha.
So other than voicing their grievances in their march this afternoon to Kasatu, what else is behind this march? What else are they planning?
Well, what we understand at this point, Natasha, is that right here behind me at the Great Hall is where hundreds of these students will meet. What we're waiting for at the moment, we understand that some of the students from the education campus, which is in Parktown, we were expecting them to march towards the main campus here. They will meet the other hundreds of students, and from here they will march to the headquarters of the Trade Union Federation. Now this is not a this is not a march against Kasatu. What these students are saying is that they want to march on the headquarters of the Trade Union Federation to ask for support for this cause, saying that this is the Trade Union Federation of their mothers and fathers, and they want Kasatu to support them in this call for free education now. So what they're saying is, at the moment, what they're going to do is to try and get some permission from the MEC to move from this point. We understand that they're in consultations with the South African Police Service at the moment on what route to use, because if it's anything to go by, we saw many disruptions throughout the course of the week when it came to traffic coming to a standstill in the Johannesburg CBD. So what they're trying to work on now is perhaps use one of the back routes to Kasatu House, where they will get there, and it's unclear at this point who they plan to speak to, because we know some of the leadership of Kasatu is in the Western Cape, and none of those details are clear at this point, but we're expecting hundreds of them to continue marching here today, and clearly an indication then, Natasha, that this march or this protest action is far from over. It will also be very interesting to hear how the university plans to move forward, because they had then, of course, shut down all academic activity for the remainder of the week. They would need to decide now, this Friday, today, exactly what course of action to take for Monday, whether they will open the university or they'll continue to shut it down. But also very importantly there, Natasha, is to give you an update on what's been happening at this campus. We understand that the students have formed some task teams, and speaking to the intensification of this action, these task teams will go out to various universities and garner further support for this action. What they're saying is that they want private institutions as well to join in on this action. We saw them march throughout the streets of Johannesburg earlier on this week, where they'd gone to at least one private institution, calling on those students to take to the streets with them. So really what remains to be seen at this point is how police are going to be able to assist these students from the main campus here to the Kasatu headquarters, which is not too far away from where we are.
Absolutely, Griselda, and on that, one of the issues we've seen this week has been safety issues. Have you managed to garner a sense of whether or not police will be working together with the students to make sure that we don't see what we saw this week with students being injured and arrested?
Well, Natasha, as I'm speaking to you, we know that those students are in consultation with the police to try and see if they can get assistance. What they're trying to do, the police are trying to avoid, is the scenes that we saw during the course of this week, where traffic came to a complete standstill in the Johannesburg CBD. What they're trying to do now, police are trying to see if they can't avail some of the back routes that these students can use so that the traffic flow continues smoothly in the Johannesburg CBD. So we're still waiting for an outcome on those talks, but they're trying to find a consensus on exactly what route to take from the main campus here to COSATU House.
Okay, Griselda, thank you very much. Griselda Lewis, live from Wits University.